So I got a Switch too. I've had it for around a month, and I have a lot of thoughts. You gotta understand, like for the Switch 1, I was only a Nintendo fan for around like a year or two at that point. The Switch 2, I've been here the entire run, okay, since the thing was called like a Switch Pro. And man, even though we've got like all these portable PCs now, nothing's really gonna compare to the sheer magic of that day where I opened up Breath of the Wild and then I played the hell out of it on a car ride, because that's the type of magic that's this thing offered. So when the Switch 2 was finally announced and then I finally got it and unboxed it, I was unbelievably excited. But I will say, my first impression was a little rocky, mostly because of the size. This thing is fucking huge. I'm gonna be honest, it made me miss for the days of like your smaller Nintendo handhelds. Like, remember when you could actually just pocket one of these? Also, you wanna see some crazy shit? I lost the charger for this around like 2 years ago. It still turns on. What kind of fucking black magic did they use to make these things? I know there was one at the Nintendo store that like survived a bombing, and I've been there recently and it was not there, so I think it finally croaked. But man, Nintendium was a real thing, and it's something I hope to God they brought back for this thing. I mean, this one does feel more sturdy thanks to the magnets. I do think that this mechanism to like pop off Joy-Cons, look at how clean that was, bro. That shit is so convenient. The fact that these are bigger now and you can use them as mice on your legs, so convenient, so Nintendo, so stupid if we're being honest, but it's the perfect kind of stupidity. It's the stupidity that reminds you why you're a Nintendo fan. And yeah, I found myself really gravitating towards a lot about this hardware, except the size. I mean, I think the screen is better. It's definitely bigger, which is always a great thing.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
For your Switch 2 titles, I will say some of the Switch 1 games through backwards compatibility look a lot more busted on the Switch 2 now, and I think it's just solely because you're taking like this 720p image and scaling it up to 1080p. Like, that is just going to naturally look a little worse, especially if the game has like a lot of bright colors like a lot of Nintendo games do. But overall, I'm happy with the hardware. I will say I am praying for just a smaller system, please. I know they probably won't make one that'll like be able to fit into the dock, but a boy can dream. But let's be real. This system would be nothing without the games, the software, and my god, Nintendo came correct with this one. Mario Kart and Cyberpunk, day one. The most surprising part is the fact that my opinions on them, at least on the two main Switch 2 games that I've played, kind of flipped around. I really thought Mario Kart World would be kind of disappointing. You know, I wasn't really vibing with a lot of the previews, and then the $80 price tag, oh my god. Thankfully, I did manage to snag the bundle, but god, I do not envy the people who weren't able to get that. And it sucks even more because despite all the hating I wanted to do, you know, I wanted to just bash Mario Kart World, be like, this game fucking sucks, it ain't worth it. It's pretty good. It's like, it's probably the best Mario Kart. I know that might be some recency bias, but I'm not even someone who necessarily like loves Mario Kart now. Like, don't get me wrong, Mario Kart 8 is a fantastic game, but Mario Kart World adds that little special sauce to the mix, and it's free roam. I really underestimated how much fun free roam would be. Just the fact that you've got this massive open world with no structure. There is nothing akin to a campaign or even a path you're supposed to go down. It's just like, go, have fun, go nuts. It is literally a playground and a sandbox in the most basic fundamental sense, and it's great. It's probably one of the most gorgeous open worlds I've seen, just because I love the Mario aesthetic, and having that in this like realistic, I guess, infrastructure. Like, it's weird to see late stage capitalism hit Mario, but Mario Kart World is easily the best launch title I think this thing could have had. Now, with that being said, I did also purchase Cyberpunk, and I was so excited because I was someone who had really wanted to see that sort of game on the Switch 2. And I am unfortunately a little disappointed. I think that Cyberpunk on Switch is kind of a buggy mess, actually. This is definitely the most bugged the game has felt for me since 2021, I want to say. And that's when I first picked this up. I mean, I picked up a PS5 copy back in the day, But man, I really feel like, I don't know if it's just because most of my time was spent in Phantom Liberty, which is the DLC, which was designed exclusively for next-gen consoles and has now been like cheese grated down to the Switch 2 version. Like, it's cool that that's there, but it doesn't run well at all. It is a very shoddy, like 30 to 24 FPS, and even like, let's disregard the shoddy performance, because shoddy performance is kind of a normal thing on Switch ports. I know it shouldn't be a normal thing for the Switch 2 port, but the main game at the very least runs fine, and I know Cyberpunk was kind of known for being the buggy game, but they did fix those issues, you know? And even on something like the Steam Deck version, I've had nowhere near as many problems. And while I will say this version definitely does look better than the Steam version, especially when it's docked, because you've got that DLSS, I would honestly say that it's not worth the extra money that you will inevitably have to pay, because Switch tax is and still will probably be a very real thing, you know? So yeah, I was underwhelmed. And with that being said, I'm kind of mixed on the Switch too, you know? Don't get me wrong, I love Mario Kart, and I've loved playing a lot of my Switch 1 games upgraded, but I do definitely think that I don't know if it's really worth being an early adopter of this yet, you know, because of the prices, the honestly not that compelling library. I mean, again, Nintendo came correct, but a lot of the stuff is older content. You know, even something like the GameCube games, like, awesome that you can play Wind Waker on the go, but at the end of the day, Wind Waker's a pretty easy game to emulate. Like, I just don't think that the Switch 2 has fully justified its price yet to the average Joe Schmo. And I will posit that I think that console launches are definitely one of those things that's hyped up to like an absurd degree. But I would argue that the most exciting thing about a console launch is not the console, and I don't think it's the games either. I really do think it's more about the culture that forms around it. You know, I remember when the Switch 1 came out, Nintendo discussions were basically non-existent, and they slowly began to ramp up, and now, in my recommended, I will constantly see like new Nintendo YouTubers just pop up out of nowhere, and I'll watch them and be like, hey, we're kind of on like parallel tracks here. Like, I hope they're successful. I hope I'm successful, and I know my upload schedule has been very spotty, which is not the YouTube way at all, but I'm very excited to see what the future of this holds. Not necessarily for the games itself, but for the content that will surround it, and the discussions that will surround it. And I know that I haven't been that active as of late, but I think this is going to be the start of something pretty great. I've got nothing more to say, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy, and if you did, please stick around. I've got more videos coming out. I've got some in the docket, and yeah, talk to you later. Bye. Oh, and let me know what you think about the Switch 2. If you've got one, if you don't, just let me know. Talk about it in the comments. I'll see you around. Bye.